Sai Ram. In the previous sessions, we have discussed about angle measures and we have solved many problems on them. In this session, we are going to learn about trigonometric functions. Before that, let us discuss the answers for the previous assignment questions. First question was, find the degree measure of the angle subtended at the center of a circle of radius 100 cm by an arc of length 22 cm, where use pi as 22/7. So, it is a kind of direct question. Radius is given to be 100 cm and arc length is given to be 22 cm. Then you are asked to find the angle theta, but it must be in the degree measure. So, we use the formula theta is equal to L by R, and on simplification we get it as 0.22, which we can clearly see that it is a radian measure. But we need answer in the degree measure. So, by multiplying by 180 by pi and use pi as 22/7, on simplification we get the answer 12.6 degree. But we have to separate integer 12 and 0.6 degree and convert 0.6 degree to minute. On multiplying by 60, we get 36 minute. Therefore, we get the answer theta as 12 degree 36 minute. We will move on to the next question. Find the angle in radian through which pendulum swings if its length is 75 cm and tip describes an arc of length. First one 15 cm, second one 21 cm. It is a similar kind of question which we have solved in the previous session, where we have to compare we have to relate the length of the pendulum to radius. So, we have radius 75 cm and arc length 15 cm. So, use the formula theta is equal to L by R, that is 15/75, we get 1/5. Next, we have to change the arc length as 21 cm. So, we have arc length 21 cm and theta as therefore 21/75, we get 7/25. Now, let us discuss about trigonometric functions. You have already learnt about functions in the second chapter, relations and functions. I hope you know the definition. So, any function, that is you have learnt about many functions, that is signum function, greatest integer function, constant function, identity function, etc., where any function can be denoted as f of x, that is f of x is equal to y, where x is a independent variable and y is dependent variable, that is y is depending on x. And for any function it is possible to find its domain and range, right. So, domain is defined with the x, that is domain is we are getting by finding the condition for x, and the range is nothing but the set of all function values, right, set of all function values which we can say denote it by y, and set of all that y, that is nothing but range. Now, coming to the trigonometric functions, they are real functions. What do you mean by real function? So, if the domain and codomain of a function is either the set of all real numbers or subset of real numbers, that we can call it, that such type of functions we can call it as real functions. So, here that is to understand we can say whatever the x you taking and whatever the y you are getting by substituting to the function, then we are getting it in terms of real numbers. Okay? And there are 6 trigonometric functions we have, that is sin x, cos x, tan x, cot x, cosecant x and secant x, where what is this x here? Here x is nothing but x represents the angle, right, and x can be, generally we use it in the radian measure and we can understand that in the degree measure also, and we know that any radian measure, that is nothing but a real numbers. So, that is how we say that domain and the codomain that is domain and the range, we can call it as real or subset of real. Now, we say that sin x and cos x are the fundamental trigonometric functions, that is the other functions are depending on sin x and cos x, that is we are discussing or we are defining the remaining 4 function in terms of sin and cos. So, first let us understand about the sin x and cos x. Now, consider a unit circle in a coordinate axis, where we can say this is the positive side of x axis and this part is the negative side of the x axis, and this is positive side of the y axis and the negative side of the y axis, and I will consider a unit circle with the center lies at the origin of this coordinate axis. Now, I consider the points A, B, C, D as shown in the figure. Now, let us find out what are the coordinates of A, B and C and D. What we can understand about the point A? The point A is lying on the x axis. So, the point which lies on the x axis, for that the y coordinate will be 0, right? For any point which lies on the x axis, its y coordinate will be 0. And what is its x coordinate? I have already told this is a unit circle. So, what is the radius of a unit circle? That is 1 unit, right? So, this is 1 unit, and what is the x coordinate of any point? It is the distance of a point from the y axis, this distance, right? So, what is this distance? That is 1. So, therefore, we can say x coordinate is 1. So, you have the point A 1, 0. Next, what is the point B? You can see B is clearly it is on the y axis. So, its x coordinate will be 0 and y coordinate. So, y coordinate is nothing but distance of a point from the x axis. So, this distance you have to find. So, this distance is nothing but, you can see this is also nothing but the radius, right? So, you have 0, 1 as the point B. Now, what is point C? So, point C is on the x axis and it is in the negative side of the x axis. Therefore, you can say the x coordinate will be negative and the y coordinate will be 0. But what is x coordinate here? So, this distance is nothing but 1, right, because radius is 1. So, 1, minus 1, 0 is the point C. Now, what is D? So, it is in the negative side of the y axis. So, y coordinate is negative and it is on the y axis. Therefore, its x coordinate will be 0. Now, what is this distance? That is distance of a point from the x axis, that will be 1, right, and it is minus 1 because it lies on the negative side of the y axis, right. So, therefore, we have the point A 1, 0, B 0, 1, C minus 1, 0 and D 0, minus 1. What is the angle corresponding to this A, point A? What is the angle corresponding to this point A? So, if you see here, it is a initial side, right? It is a initial side and there is no rotation performed here. So, there is no rotation. So, therefore, angle is, we can say here angle is 0. And next, at the point B. So, in order to find the angles at the point B, point C, point D, what shall we do? We will divide the whole circle into 4 parts, okay, 4 equal parts, okay. You can see this. We can call them as quadrants, okay. And what we can see here, the whole circle, you know that angle is 2 pi, right. For the whole circle, you know that angle is 2 pi, and in order to find this, you see here, this consider this as a initial side, okay. This is the initial side. It has rotated this much. So, what is the angle, right? So it is nothing but it's a one part of the all the four parts, correct? This portion is nothing but one part of the all the four parts. So therefore you can say this is 1/4 of the whole 2 pi. So therefore you can say this is 2 1s are 2 2s are. So therefore you get the angle for this angle corresponding to this, that we can say that is pi by 2, correct? Is it clear? Right? So we have at B, we can consider the angle pi by 2. Next, what is the angle corresponding to C? That we can see. So that is from here to here, what is the angle measure? So here to here means it is nothing but, right, here two parts are covered. So that is 2 pi of 2 parts out of the 4 parts, that is 2/4 of 2 pi. So that is, we can say that is angle is pi radian, right? So at C we can consider the angle pi. Next, at D what is the angle? So for D you have to consider these three parts, right? From here to here you have to consider. So what happens from here to here? So that is, it covers 3 parts out of the 4 parts, right? That is 2 pi into 3/4. So that is 3 pi by 2, correct? So here you can consider the angle 3 pi by 2. Next, after one complete revolution it reaches the same position A, correct? It reaches the same position, but it completed one complete revolution. So we can say here the angle will be 2 pi. So at A you can consider the angle 0 as well as 2 pi, correct? Next, still more if you want to consider, right, after one complete revolution, still more you can consider the angle. That is, if you consider again at B, that is after one complete revolution, again you are considering the B, that means you have rotated still more, okay? Then what is the angle? That is 2 pi plus one more pi by 2, correct? 2 pi plus pi by 2, that is, what is this? That is 5 pi by 2, okay? So you can consider again here 5 pi by 2. So 5 pi by 2 is nothing but, it's a 450 degree, right? Still if you want you can consider here still more points, that is, you can consider here 2 pi plus 1 pi, that is 3 pi, correct? Next, still more you can consider here also, that is 2 pi plus 3 pi by 2, you get it as 7 pi by 2, okay? So here you can consider even 7 pi by 2. Still more you can consider, that is 2 revolution, then you will get one more point here, that is one more angle, that is 4 pi, correct? So likewise we are able to find as many angles in this unit circle, okay, by considering the points, okay? We can consider as many angles here only, okay, by rotating more and more and more, okay? So next, now consider any point P on the circle, okay? P with the coordinates, P is A comma B. So consider any point, okay, it's an arbitrary point, that is, it's a just representing all the points in this unit circle, okay? So with the coordinates A and B. Now let us join this P to O. So we get OP. But what is the length of OP? What we can see here? It's a distance from the center to the point, that we can say it is radius, and you know that radius is 1 unit, correct? Now draw the perpendicular PM to the x axis, okay? Now what is the distance of OM and PM? So what is PM here? Distance of PM. So it is nothing but, right, this is nothing but distance of a point from the x axis, that is y coordinate of a point, correct? Distance of a point from the x axis we can call it as y coordinate. So here the y coordinate is b, so you can say the distance PM will be b. Next, what is this distance? We can just compare this here. Okay, so what is this distance? Distance of a point from the y axis will be x coordinate, correct? Right? This distance is a and this distance is same as, right? This length is same as this length. So you can say this length is a, correct? This length is a, that is OM is a, PM is b, correct? Now consider an arc of length x, okay? Consider an arc of length x, where the arc we can call it as AP, okay? So we have arc AP as x length, okay? So in the unit circle, if you have an arc of length x units, then it will give you the angle of radian x radian, right? Correct? Just following the definition of radian, right? So if you have in a circle, if you have an arc of length x units, then it will subtend an angle of x radian in the, right, at the center, right? So we got the angle AOP as x radian. Now what we can observe here, what type of triangle is this? Triangle OMP. This triangle OMP is nothing but a right angle triangle, right? Right angle triangle. So this triangle OMP is right angle triangle with the angle you have x radian. Therefore we can make use of the trigonometric ratios. So what is cos x here? Cos x is nothing but adjacent by hypotenuse, right? Adjacent side is OM by, right? Cos x is OM by OP, that is OM is A by 1, which is equal to A. So you got cos x as A, right? Now what is sin x? Sin x will be opposite side is PM divided by the hypotenuse OP. So PM is B, so B by 1, which is equal to B. So you got cos x as A and sin x as B, correct? But what is this A? A is nothing but x coordinate of the point, correct? So A is the x coordinate of point, which will give you the cos x value, and the y coordinate B of a point, right? It will give you the sin x value, okay? So it is possible to find the value of cos x and sin x by using the coordinates of the point with respect to their position, right? With respect to their position, we can find the angle. So for a particular angle, by considering a point in a unit circle, we can get the value of cos x and sin x by using their coordinates, okay? Where x coordinate is given by, x coordinate will give you cos x and y coordinate will give you sin x for any angle x, okay? Now we can see this, it's a right angle triangle, so we can use the Pythagoras theorem, right? That is what your Pythagoras theorem says, hypotenuse square is equal to adjacent side square plus opposite side square, right? So we can use that. So hypotenuse square, that is 1 square, is equal to opposite square, that is b square, plus adjacent square, that is a square, correct? That is 1 square is 1, b square. So what is b? You got it as b as sin x, right? So b is sin x, so b square is square of sin x, that is sin square x, correct? and a square. A is cos x, so a square is cos square x. So there, that's how you get the formula sin square x plus cos square x is equal to 1. Okay. Now we can find the angle, we can find the values of sine and cosine for few, okay. We can find the sine and cos x value for the few angles at these points, and we know that at A you can find the angle 0, 2 pi, 4 pi, 8 pi, correct. You are able to find these type of angles at A, correct. Now let us find out the angle, and any angle, okay, any angle which is integral multiple of pi by 2, we are calling them as quadrantal angle, okay. If you are able to express any angle in terms of integer multiple of pi by 2, then we can call such angles as quadrantal angle, okay. So here we can say 0 is a quadrantal angle. Why? Because you can express 0 as 0 into pi by 2, correct. And 2 pi how you can express? 2 pi you can express it as, how you can express? Correct? Correct? You can express 4 into pi by 2 as, correct? So likewise, if you are able to express the any angle in terms of multiple of pi by 2, okay, it must be integer multiple of pi by 2, such angles we can call it as quadrantal angle. So let us find out the cos x and sin x value for the quadrantal angle, and we see here all the quadrantal angle we can find it in these points, that is A, B, C and D, okay. So now we have seen that if you have any point in the circle, its x coordinate will give you the cos x value and y coordinate will give you the sin x value, right, with respect to the position. So the position will define the angle, correct. So at A you have, A is a point 1, 0, and at A you can consider the angles, that is 0, 2 pi, correct. You have 4 pi, next 6 pi, correct. Such type of angles you can consider it in the 0, and not only these positive angles, you can consider minus 2 pi, minus 4 pi, minus 6 pi, everything will come here. How you will get the negative angle? By rotating, right, clockwise, okay. You can consider them also, okay. So for these angles will be the value of cos x and sin x, we can find it out. So that is cos of, we can consider the 0, cos 0 is given by the x coordinate, so cos 0 is 1, next sin of 0, so sin value will be given by the y coordinate, so sin 0 is, y coordinate is 0, so sin 0 is 0, okay. Similarly we can find the, for 2 pi also you will get the, right, cos 2 pi is, so 2 pi also lies at the A, correct, we can consider the same point A. So cos 2 pi will be 1 and sin 2 pi will be 0. Similarly you can find the values for all these type of angles. So whichever the angle, right, lies here, we can use the point A, okay. Now we can consider point B. So at B, what is the coordinate? B is 0, 1. So at 0, 1, where what is the angle? You can consider the angles pi by 2, 3 pi by 5 pi by 2, correct. Likewise we can consider the angles, okay, and you can consider even the negative angle also, okay, at B. So what we can find it out? So cos of pi by 2 will give the x coordinate of 0. So x coordinate of B is 0, correct. So cos pi by 2 we got it as 0. Next, what is sine? Sine pi by 2. So we got the y coordinate 1. So sine pi by 2 is 1. Okay. Similarly, you can consider the another angle in the same point B, that is we can consider 5 pi by 2. So if you consider 5 pi by 2, that is cos of 5 pi by 2, that is nothing but 0, and sine of 5 pi by 2, that we get it as 1. Okay. Now we can consider the point C. So at C, what is the coordinates? C is, coordinates are minus 1 comma 0, right? Minus 1 comma 0, and here what we can observe, at C angles are pi, 3 pi, right? You will get 5 pi, like that. So cos pi is minus 1 and sin pi is 0. Okay, sin pi is 0. Next, at D we can consider coordinates 0 comma minus 1. So therefore we have cos 3 pi by 2 will be, you got it as, coordinates are, at D you have 0, right? So x coordinate is 0, so cos of 3 pi by 2 is 0, and y coordinate will give you the sine, so that is sine of 3 pi by 2 will be equal to minus 1. Okay. So that's how we can find the values of, the sine and cos x by using the points. Okay. And with respect to the position of the points, we get the angle. So that's how we get the cos and sin x value for the particular x. Okay. And we can observe here, okay, we can observe here this A, the point A which we are using, which will be not only for the angle 0, right? We are able to use it for other angles which comes here only, that is 0, 2 pi, right, 4 pi, 6 pi, likewise. That is, even if you increase the angle by rotating more and more and exceeding, okay, you can stop anywhere, you can consider anywhere. Here not only this pi and 0 and pi by 2, in between you can find the many, right? Pi by 2 is nothing but 90 degree. So in between 0 and pi by 2 you can find the many angles. What are all there? You can consider 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree and 90 degree. Those are the standard angles, right? Correct? So we can find out by considering the point, and after the complete rotation again you can reach the same point, but the angle is increased, right? But the angle is increased. So even if you increase the angle, will you get the different angles? Will you get the different answers or the values for sin and cos x, right? Will you get it? 0 is different, 2 pi is different, but their value you got it as, right, same. It gives you the same for cos and sin at this position, correct? So even if you increase the angle for any extent, right, the value of sin and cos will never change. Okay. That is, we can represent it as sin of 2n pi plus any angle x, you will get the value same as sin x only, where n is any integer. Okay, it can be positive or it can be negative or it can be 0 also. Okay. So for any integer you consider, that is, for example, if you consider n as 0, you will get it as sin of 0 plus x, right? That is nothing but sin x. If you consider x to be 1, n to be 1, then you will get sin of 2 pi, right? 2 into 1 into pi, that is 2 pi plus x. You will get the value same as sin x only. It will never change. For example, you can consider x as 30 degree. 30 degree is nothing but pi by 6 radian. So sin of 2 pi plus 30 degree we can, or we can say 2 pi plus pi by 6, we can consider the value sin pi by 6 only, okay. Likewise, if you consider pi by 2 also, you can do the same thing. So for any angle x, the how much ever you increase, how much you, this represents the number of rotation, right. If it for the n number of rotation or for n number of revolution, right, plus some angle will give you the same as sine of that angle only, okay. And same thing we can say for the cos also, cos of 2n pi plus x will give you same as cos x value, okay. Now we can consider where you are getting sin x and cos x as 0, okay. Just list out. So we are getting sin x is equal to 0 where? Sin x will be given by the y coordinate of the point, right. So y coordinate where and all you are getting it as 0, there and all you will get the sin x value 0. So where you will get the sin x value 0? You can see here, right, sin 0 is 0, next sin pi by 2 you got it as 1, next sin pi is 0, correct, sin pi is 0. Next for the sin 3 pi by 2 you got it as minus 1. Again for sin 2 pi you got it as 0, correct. So what we can observe in these two positions, that is at A and C, correct, where the angle you can consider here 0, 2 pi, 4 pi like that, and here you can consider pi, 3 pi, 5 pi, etc. So on combining, what you can say, so sin x is 0 means your x must be either 0 or it can be pi or it can be 2 pi or again it can be 3 pi or 4 pi, 5 pi, etc. correct. So your sin x will be 0 for some x where x must be 0, pi, 2 pi, and you can consider the negative also, that is, right, plus or minus you can consider, because minus pi, for minus pi also you will get the value 0 only, okay. So for all such value you will get the sin x as 0. So it consists of all the integers, right, 0, plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, etc. These are nothing but the integers. So what we can say, so you can say sin x is 0, which will imply your x must be the integer multiple of pi where n is any integer, okay. So if it is an integer multiple of pi, for such angle you will get the sin value 0, that is sin value vanishes, okay. Next, where you will get cos value as 0. So cos x will be equal to 0, where you can see here, here cos 0 is 1, correct, here cos pi by 2 is 0. So at B you are getting cos value 0. Next, at C you got it as cos pi minus 1, correct, it is not 0. At D you got cos 3 pi by 2, 0, correct. So what we can say, at B and D you are getting cos value 0, that is for what are all the angles, here you have pi by 2, 5 pi by 2, correct. So first for pi by 2, next 3 pi by 2, next 5 pi by 2, next 7 pi by 2, next 9 pi by 2, likewise, okay. And you can consider the negative angle also. So your cos x will be equal to 0 for x is equal to, if x is equal to pi by 2, correct, 3 pi by 2, 5 pi by 2, 7 pi by 2, etc. correct. And you can consider the negative value also. So you can say plus or minus, correct. So what we can say, your cos x is 0, which will imply your x must be equal to, so this is plus or minus 1, plus or minus 3, 1, 3, 5, 7, these are nothing but the odd numbers, right. So we can say, and it is the odd multiple of pi by 2, okay. So x is equal to 0, which cos x will be equal to 0 implies x is equal to odd multiple of pi by 2. So how we can represent the odd number, we have represented any integer as n, correct, and we can represent 2n as even, correct. So for any integer n we can represent 2n plus 1 for the odd number, okay. You can substitute the any integer value and you can check it, correct. for 2n plus 1 which represents the odd number. So, we can say if your x is equal to 2n plus 1 multiple of pi by 2, 2n plus 1 pi by 2 for any n belongs to z, that is n for any integer n, then you are getting cos x is equal to 0. Okay. So, sin x is equal to 0 for any integer multiple of pi and cos x is equal to 0 for any odd multiple of pi by 2. Okay. Remember this. Now, let us define the remaining 4 functions now. Okay. So, we have tan x, that is tan x is nothing but sin x by cos x, where see any fraction or any quotient form which is defined only for the denominator not equal to 0, right. So, here you have the denominator cos x not equal to 0. So, this tan x is not equal to 0 for cos x not equal to 0 means what? When you will be cos x is equal to 0? I have told cos x will be equal to 0 for x odd multiple of pi by 2, right. So, cos x not equal to 0 means x not equal to odd multiple of pi by 2. So, for such angles you will have tan x value, that is tan x is defined for cos x not equal to 0, that is x not equal to 2n plus 1 pi by 2. Therefore, we can define the tan x as sin x by cos x for x not equal to 2n plus 1 pi by 2. Okay. Similarly, we can define its reciprocal cot x. Cot x is equal to cos x by sin x, where what we can say here? Here the denominator not equal to 0, that is sin x is not equal to 0, that is x not equal to integer multiple of pi, that is x is not equal to n pi, where n belongs to z, correct. For all such angles that is not equal to integer multiple of pi, cot x is defined, that is you get the cot x value. For all x for equal to n pi, you get cot x not defined. Okay. Next we can define about cosecant x. So, cosecant x is the reciprocal of sin x, correct. So, here also denominator should not be equal to 0 means sin x not equal to 0 when x not equal to n pi for n belongs to z. Okay. And secant x, which is a reciprocal of cos x. So, this is defined for x not equal to. So, cos x is equal to 0 for odd multiple of pi by 2. So, here x not equal to 2n plus 1 pi by 2 for n belongs to z. Okay. We have shown that cos square x plus sin square x is equal to 1, correct. Now, we can find the relations for tan and secant and cosecant and cot x also by using this relation. Okay. So, we have cos square x plus sin square x is equal to 1. By dividing by cos square x for this particular equation, what we get? So, you divide each term with cos square x by cos square x plus sin square x by cos square x, which is equal to 1 by cos square x, right. So, what cos square x by cos square x 1, sin square x by cos square x, you know that sin by cos is tan x. So, sin square x by cos square x is tan square x. So, therefore, you have 1 by cos x, 1 by cos x is secant x, so 1 by cos square x is secant square x. So that's how we get the relation between tan and secant, that is 1 plus tan square x is equal to secant square x. Now you divide the cos square x plus sin square x is equal to 1 equation by sin square x. Then you get cos square x by sin square x plus sin square x by sin square x, which is equal to 1 by sin square x. So cos square x by sin square x, cos by sin is cot x, so you get cot square x plus sin square by sin square 1, which is equal to 1 by sin is cosecant, so you get cosecant square x, correct. So that's how you get the formula cot square x plus 1 is equal to cosecant square x. Now let us see the values of all the trigonometric functions for the standard angles. Now let us see the values for all the trigonometric functions for the standard angles. Okay, I had given in both the radian and the degree measures. So we have sin 0 is 0, sin 30, that is sin pi by 6 is half, sin pi by 4 is 1 by root 2, sin pi by 3 is root 3 by 2, sin 90 is 1, sin pi and sin 2 pi is 0, and sin 3 pi by 2 is minus 1. Similarly, we have cos x, cos 0 is 1, cos 30 is root 3 by 2, cos pi by 4 is 1 by root 2, cos pi by 3 is half, cos 90 is 0, and cos pi is minus 1, cos 3 pi by 2 is 0, and cos 2 pi is 1. Now by using these values, okay, you please remember these two functions values so that you can derive the values of other remaining 4 functions. So cosecant x, which is the reciprocal of sin x, right? 1 by sin x is nothing but cosecant x. So you just find the reciprocal of the values so that you will get the cosecant x value. And cosecant x is defined for sin x not equal to 0, right? So cosecant x is not defined for the sin x equal to 0. So where it will be for sin x is equal to 0, there and all you will get the cosecant x not defined. So let us write that first. So at 0 cosecant x is not defined, at pi and 2 pi cosecant x is not defined, correct. Next, what is the reciprocal of 1 by 2? So 2, right. So cosecant of pi by 6 is 2. Next, root 2 is the cosecant value for pi by 4. Next, 2 by root 3, here it is 1, here it is minus 1, correct. Next, reciprocal of cos x, that is secant x. So you have where and all you have cos x to be 0, there and all you will get the secant x to be not defined. So let us write that first. So at pi by 2 and 3 pi by 2, where and all odd multiple of pi by 2 you get the secant x not defined, correct. And here you can see 1 by 1, 1, root 3 by 2, reciprocal is 2 by root 3, and next here root 2, here 2, next here 1 by minus 1, 1 by 1, 1. So this is how we can find the values of cosecant and secant x. Now tan x is sin x by cos x, right, and it is not defined at the cos x not equal to 0. So where cos x will be equal to 0? Cos x will be 0 at pi and cos x is 0 at the odd multiple of pi by 2, that is pi by 2 and 3 pi by 2. So put there tan x will be not defined. So here it is not defined, right, pi by 2 and 3 pi by 2, tan x will be not defined. Next, cot x is not defined at the cot x is not defined at the sin x equal to 0. So, where sin x is 0? At the multiple of pi including 0. So, therefore, we can say here 0, next pi and 2 pi, right. The remaining value, so tan x will be equal to 0 for the numerator equal to 0, right. 0 by anything is 0. So, tan x will be equal to 0 where tan x is sin x by cos x. So, whenever the sin x is numerator sin x is 0, you will get tan x will be 0. So, you have numerator sin x 0 at all the multiple of pi including 0. So, sin 0 is 0. So, here tan 0 is 0 and sin pi is 0. So, tan pi is 0 and sin 2 pi will be 0. Therefore, tan 2 pi will be 0. Similarly, cot x will be equal to 0 when numerator cos x will be equal to 0. So, where cos x will be equal to 0? When the odd multiple of pi by 2. So, in odd multiple of pi by 2, you can say cot x will be not defined. So, that is cot x will be equal to 0 at the odd multiple of pi by 2. So, that is you have here pi by 2 and 3 pi by 2. For that, cot x will be equal to 0. Next, just do the reciprocal for sin x by cos x. So, sin x by cos x is nothing but sin x by cos x is 1 by 2 by root 3 by 2. So, that is 1 by root 3 and 1 by root 2 divided by 1 by root 2 is 1. So, tan 45, that is tan pi by 4 is 1 and root 3 by 2 by 1 by 2. So, that is root 3. So, tan 60, that is tan pi by 3 is root 3. Next, cot value, we have root 3 here and 1 by root 3 here, next 1 by 1, 1. So, this is how we can find the values of all the trigonometric functions. We can observe the values of trigonometric functions here. So, if you see the sin x and cos x, okay, the values of sin x and cos x, first for 0 you get 0, for half you get, half is nothing but 0.5, next 1 by root 2 it is around 0.7, next root 3 by 2 you will get around 0.86 and 1. So, you can see 0, 0.5 this one. So, and later you get 0, minus 1, 0. So, and if you increase 2 pi, that is if you exceed 2 pi, you will get again these values only, right, correct. You get only these values because, right, sin 2n pi plus x will be sin x, right. Now, you can see the range of the sin x value, right, which is the lowest value you can consider here. Lowest value, is it minus 1, correct. So, lowest value is minus 1 for sin x and which is the highest one, we can see here 1 is the highest one, right. So, what we can conclude here is sin x is, value of sin x will be in the range minus 1 to plus 1, okay. So, whatever the values you get for the sin x will be in the range minus 1 to 1. So, therefore, we can say range of sin x will be in the range minus 1 to 1. So, we can represent it in the closed interval minus 1 comma 1. So, you found out what is the range for sin x. Similarly, range for the cos x also we can say it will be also in the same range, right. Highest is 1 and the lowest value is minus 1. So, you get the range 1 to minus 1 to 1. So, therefore, for sin x and cos x you get the range closed interval minus 1 comma 1. And what is their domain? You can see you are able to get the value for sin for all the angles, right. Nowhere it is not defined. So, any real number you consider, you are able to get the sin and the cos x value. They are not defined for any of the real numbers. So, therefore, we can say the domain will be all the real numbers, that is set of all real numbers R, okay. So, domain will be R and range will be closed interval minus 1 comma 1 for the sin and the cos x. Now, coming to their reciprocals, okay, cosecant x, what you can observe? They are not defined at the multiple of pi, correct? For all the n pi, we will get it as not defined, right? So they are not defined. So where it is defined, other than all the multiple of pi, we will get it as, we will get the value for cosecant x, right? So therefore we can say the domain of cosecant x will be r minus the, what you have to take, all the multiple of pi, so that is n pi, where n is any integer, okay. So if you remove the multiple of pi, right, all such numbers if you remove from the real number set, then whatever it is remaining, that will be the domain of cosecant x, okay. Similarly you can see the secant x, domain for secant x will be, so where it is not defined, remove that. So where for all the odd multiple of pi by 2 it is not defined, so you remove such numbers from the real line, you will get the remaining thing which will be the domain for the secant x. So that is r minus odd multiple of pi by 2, 2n plus 1 pi by 2 for n belongs to z. This is the domain for the secant x. Now coming to the range of cosecant x and secant x, you can see here the values, just observe the values of cosecant x, okay. Observe the value of cosecant x. What we can observe? Somewhere it is not defined, right? Actually, what do you mean by not defined condition, right? Generally we represent, you might have heard it, we are representing the not defined condition by using infinity. Actually infinity is used where we are not sure about the value, okay. We don't know how much it is. For that we write or we denote it as infinity, and it can be plus infinity or minus infinity by, so if it, when it is plus infinity, that is if it is a very large number which we don't know, right, then such numbers we denote it as plus infinity. And if it is very small, that is smallest number which we don't know, that we represent it as minus infinity, okay. So therefore this not defined condition here, it may be a very large number or it may be a very small number, okay. So what we can see here, so it will include all the real numbers, and we know that real numbers are infinitely many, right? We cannot count them how much it is. So not defined here, it represents in between 2 to here, not defined, that we can say infinity, okay. Here to here we can consider many real numbers, okay. So we will get most of the real numbers, and the here root 2, 2 by root 3 which is less than the 2, and it reaches 1, right. Again not defined, that is infinity, it may be very large or very smallest number, right, and next minus 1. So what we can see here, is anywhere 0 found here for the cosecant x? No 0, right. So 0 is not there. So what we can say, the numbers which are close to 0 and 0 are exempted, or they are not, they cannot be the values for the cosecant x, okay. So what we can say about the range is, range of the cosecant x will be the all the real numbers except the range from minus 1 to 1, but I represented here by using open interval minus 1 comma 1. What it represents? Open interval means the end points minus 1 and 1 are not included, because we are getting 1 and minus 1 here, right. So we get till minus 1 and after 1, okay, after 1 including 1, but in between this we can find 0 also, right, minus 1 to 1, right. In between this range we can find the 0, and the values which are close to 0 we can find the values, okay. These values cannot be taken by the cosecant x. Similarly, if we consider the secant x, same thing we can follow here also, 0 is not there and 1 and minus 1 is there, and infinity we can find it, not defined condition. So the value of secant x involves all the real numbers except the range minus 1 less than x less than 1, that is open interval minus 1 comma 1. Whatever the element belong to the open interval minus 1 comma 1, such elements are cannot be the value for secant x. So therefore we can say the range for secant x also r minus 1 comma 1, that is except this range the remaining real numbers will be the values for the cosecant and the secant x. Next we can see about the range and domain for the tan x and cot x. So we have tan x where it is not defined, it is not defined for the all the odd multiple of pi by 2, correct? For all the odd multiple of pi by 2 you get tan x not defined. So where and all it is defined, those elements will belong to the domain. So we have the domain for tan x will be all the real numbers except odd multiple of pi by 2, 2n plus 1 pi by 2 for n belongs to z. Okay. For all the odd multiple of pi by 2 you get not defined. So where it is defined, for other than the odd multiple of pi by 2, right, remaining real numbers, for that you get the value for tan x. Okay. So therefore we can say r minus 2n plus 1 pi by 2 as the domain for tan x. Similarly domain for cot x, here where it will be not defined, for all the multiple of pi, correct, including 0. So we can say if you remove such elements r minus n pi for n belongs to z, for this is the domain for the cot x. Okay. Now coming to the range of the tan and cot, so you can see the values, right, 0 is involved, 1 is involved, right, 0 is involved, 1 is involved, and we can see here not defined. So it can be very largest number or very smallest number, but to reach this largest number obviously we will get in between, it will cover all the real numbers in between this range, correct. So the values of tan x will take all the real numbers. Okay, there is no exception here. Okay, 0, 1 and somewhere you will get minus 1 also. Okay, so for all the real numbers are covered for the values of tan x. Similarly cot x, you can see here the values of cot x will involve all the real numbers. Okay, so therefore domain and therefore the range for tan and cot x will be all set of all real numbers. Okay. So now let us summarize the domain and the range. You can note down the values for all the trigonometric functions for all the standard angles given. Quickly we will summarize the domain and range for all the trigonometric functions. So we have domain for sine and cos is set of all real numbers, and the range is closed interval minus 1 comma 1, that is its value lies between closed interval minus 1 comma 1, that is from minus 1 to 1 what are all the real numbers are involved, all those can be the values for sine and cos. Next coming to the tan x, its domain will be r minus 2n plus 1 pi by 2, that is you are removing all the odd multiple of pi by 2 from the set of all real numbers. So the remaining real numbers will be the domain, that is element of domain, for which you will get the answers, that is you will get the value for tan x, and the range is all the real numbers. So any real number can be the value for tan for some angle. Next coming to cot x, you have r minus n pi for n belongs to z, that is you are removing all the multiple of pi from the all the real numbers, then the remaining real numbers will be the values for cot x. The remaining real numbers will be the elements of domain for the cot x, and coming to the range you have all the real numbers can be the values for cot x. Next we have the reciprocal of sine and cos x, that is cosecant x. We have cosecant x So its domain is r minus n pi, that is you are removing all the multiple of pi from the set of all real numbers. For such values you will get the values of cosecant x, and the range is r minus open interval minus 1 comma 1. So that is the remaining values of the real numbers other than the range minus 1 to 1 will be the range for the or values for the cosecant x, and the secant x domain is r minus 2n plus 1 pi by 2. That is you are removing all the odd multiple of pi by 2. The remaining real numbers will be the elements of the domain for secant x, and range is r minus open interval minus 1 comma 1. So we have come to an end of this particular session, where we have studied about trigonometric functions and their values as well as their domain and range. In the next class, we are going to learn about the graphs and sign of all the trigonometric functions in all the quadrants as well as their graphs. Okay. With this, I conclude my session. Thank you. Sai Ram.